What's going on, 59 friends? Ironcane here is one of your hosts for your weekly dose of Gacha news. Today's episode is a pretty good one, in my biased opinion. We have new global releases to talk about, an announcement for another Gacha game coming to Steam, and a very interesting collaboration on the way as well. Now, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to slap it a like, comment down below what story made you the most excited, and subscribe to stay in the know of everything we do here at 59 Gaming. Without further ado, let's get right into this week's news. I swear, sometimes when I talk about certain gachas on the show, a week later they get announced for global. Now, I'm not saying I got special powers or anything, but come on, man. I reported on that time I got reincarnated as a slime last week, and now it's coming to global. So, I don't know, man. Kind of fishy. Anyways, the game's official title for global is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Isekai Memories. We went pretty in-depth last week about the title, but they released some new gameplay since on the official website for global, so it's not a waste going through over again. Players will be able to relive the story of the anime with 3D models that will be voice acted by the same actors from the anime as well. There will also be original stories created by the series' original author that will be exclusive to the mobile title. These stories will include new characters like Shinsha, who supposedly is Rimuru's daughter. Shinsha possesses the same Great Sage and predation quirks as Rimuru, allowing her to nab abilities from enemies, just like her supposed father. The other new character announced so far is Isis, a witch of the mirror, who's basically the baddie of the game. Players can build their own nation of Tempests with the game's building system, with the scope of the buildings expanding as you progress through the story. Characters in town can be interacted with too, so after you build your Tempest, why not check in on the locals? For gameplay, all battles will be done in 3D graphics with loads of skills and finishing moves from the original series at your disposal. As you can see from the video, the moves look super flashy and pretty impressive for a mobile game. In regular quests, you can't just use predation mode on every enemy you see. That's what predator quests are for. Here, players can devour foes and either acquire new skills or power up your existing ones. The Great Sage will exist as the game's tip/tutorial system, so if you're ever stuck or confused about a certain aspect of the game, just ask the Great Sage to guide Rimuru, just like it aids him in the anime. The last feature mentioned on the website is the ability to give gifts to other characters in fully voiced conversations. And by giving gifts like food, players will be able to raise their bond level with said character. Wow, that was actually a lot to go through, but hey, now you have a good idea of the game now, hopefully. The game has currently reached 100,000 pre-registrations as of the creation of this episode, awarding players stamina and equipment items. If the title manages to reach 300,000, players will be rewarded with 5 recruit tickets and a free character, Shuna, the pink ogre heavenly light. There are 4 more pre-registration rewards available afterwards, but they haven't been revealed just yet, so get to registering to claim them all. That time I got reincarnated as a slime Isekai Memories. The 3D nation building battle RPG is slated to release sometime this year for global. Speaking of gacha games heading over to global, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, A Hero's Bonds will also be making its way to global September 28th. The title is a team action RPG that's based on the anime of the same name. Players will follow the Dragon Track story arc that takes place in the adventures of Dai Saga, with an all-new story written by series author Riku Sanjo included as well. Players will be able to create their own customizable character and battle alongside Dai and his allies. There's options to play as male or female, as well as hairstyles and classes to pick from too. Battles will be done in 3 lanes where you can move back and forth horizontally and vertically to dodge oncoming attacks, and to get better positioning to dish out some damage yourself. The title has been praised for its graphics, music, and gameplay hook, so if you're into Dragon Quest or you're just looking for a new RPG to play, Adventures of Dai may be for you. The game has been up for pre-registration since March, and because it reached a whopping 1.5 million pre-registrations, all players will receive 3,000 gems, enough for 1 multi. Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, A Hero's Bonds is currently up for pre-registration and will release this month on September 28th for both Android and iOS devices for global. Girls Frontline Neural Cloud also announced its release date for September, with it dropping on the 23rd of this month. Unfortunately, this release is exclusive to CN, so global players will have to bust out VPNs or use resources like QApp. If you're unfamiliar with the game, it's a little different from the other Girls Frontline titles. NeuroCloud is a prequel to the original Girls Frontline and is described as a 3D strategy roguelike. For the story, the players roleplay as the commander of the NeuroCloud project, whose goal is to gather all the tactical dolls that were abandoned because of errors in their system. The gameplay features roguelike elements like previously mentioned, but it's also an auto chess battler as well. Once the fight starts, your units will do their own thing after you manually place them, so leveling them up, equipping gear, and proper placement on the battlefield is essential. Even when some battles may seem lost, you have a chance to reposition your tactical dolls after a reset, which can change the course of battle. Girls Frontline NeuroCloud will be available on mobile devices September 23rd, with no announcement of a global version at this time. More and more gachas are starting to have Steam releases, with Mega Man X Dive just announcing that it'll be making the move as well. There's good and bad news with this announcement though. The bad news, well, for global players at least, is that it will only be available in these regions: Taiwan, Hong Kong, Macau, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Cambodia, and India. But they will all have English subtitles, so if you use a VPN, you could play the game whenever it releases. Just know that this is technically against Steam's TOS, so the option is there, but the safer route would be just to wait for it to come to your region. Now for the good news, the developers said that the existing mobile players will be able to bring over their save data to the PC version. All they have to do is bind their Steam ID, so you won't have to worry about losing any progress. The Steam version of Mega Man X Dive is set to release this month, so fingers crossed it'll make its way to global soon. If you're interested in the game, I did a preview on the channel a couple months ago, so check it out if you want to hear more about what the game is like. For my last story, I'll be talking about SINoALICE, which just announced that it'll be getting quite the collaboration. Unexpectedly, the game will be having a crossover event with DC Comics. Yeah, you know, like Batman and Superman. They'll be throwing hands with waifus. Definitely can't wait to see that. Anyways, in terms of dates, we don't know anything yet, but we did get a trailer where they showed the bat signal. Now, it could just be because of Batman, but the trailer does give Halloween or spooky-like vibes, so maybe it'll drop sometime in October. Also, the trailer was completely in Japanese, so it may be an exclusive that eventually makes its way to the other versions, but that's only speculation at this point. Last thing before I forget, I was going through the trailer and noticed these silhouettes that look just like the Joker and Batman. Now, if I called it here, all of you better at me on Twitter and call me Iron Goat. Like, that's it, dude. If I can predict the future, that's crazy. You guys better, like, I hold you to that. Anyways, SINoALICE is available on Android and iOS devices for JP, CN, and Global, with the collab appearing to be exclusive for JP at this time. That about does it for me this week. Time to hand things over to Sly. Take it away, bro.
Thank you, Iron. I know many peeps are looking forward to that slime game, so hopefully it does well. Anywho, let's wrap up the news this week. Want to feel old? No? Well, sorry. Remember an old TCG called Duel Masters? Oh, you have. Excellent. You are truly cultured. Why am I bringing up this TCG, you may ask? Well, Puzzle and Dragons is finally hosting the collab event with Duel Masters on the NA version. It used to be exclusive to JP, but they recently added the collab to NA. Iconic monsters such as Bullshock Dragon, Bomini Steel Dragon, and others make their way into the game with this event. Unfortunately, there are no human characters in the machine like Yu-Gi-Oh, so don't expect to pull Shobu from the collab egg machine. However, you can exchange special collab event materials in the Monster Exchange Shop for Shobu. Like other collab events, there is a one-shot dungeon for the collab that will give a free roll upon clearing the dungeon. The collab event ends on the 19th, so make sure you partake as much as you can. As I promised last week, we will be covering the upcoming Triple Super Sugo Fest banners that will be coming out on One Piece Treasure Cruise on Saturday. There will be 4 separate banners that will drop all at the same time. Now, I realize that sounds daunting. However, the Part 1 banner will feature all 3 of the new Super Sugo Fest units in Luffy, Law, and Kid. However, if you only care about a specific one of the 3, that is where the other 3 banners come into play. Part 2 will be Luffy, Part 3 will be Law, and Part 4 will be Kid. Each individual part will include Roger and Odin, with other non-Super Sugos being spread across other banners. So units such as Shanks' crew will be on Luffy's part, Kaido vs. Big Mom will be on Law's part, and Ace vs. Akainu will be on Kid's part. On the 3 separate unit banners, so parts 2 to 4, we'll have a super limited pool poll on multis 7 and 20. These include the main new unit, Roger, Odin, and 5 other select Sugo Fest units. Currently, we have the new arena for Shinobu. With this event, you can receive the new Shinobu for free and freely max her out completely. Now with the latest 11.0 update, we have times 3 rewards, which will grant times 3 rewards in one run at the cost of triple the stamina. Her event is here until October 5th, so there's plenty of time to farm her up. It has been a fair bit since we included this game in the news, but Danmachi Memoria Freeze is finally releasing Vesta as an adventurer unit. For those who don't know, Vesta is the Roman version of Hestia, so it is essentially Hestia while using her goddess powers. Hestia is my all-time favorite character from the anime, so this makes me very excited. As to not bore you all with my giddiness over her, let's take a look at her kit and what she brings to the table. As previously mentioned, she will be an adventurer, so you'll be able to battle with her rather than have her attached to a unit and give that unit buffs. Her special arts effect reads, foes will take an ultra fire magic attack, and for every strength, magic, agility, endurance, and dexterity buff on the foe, skill damage plus 20%. And for allies, clears all of the previously mentioned debuffs and cleanses all ailments. So not only will she be doing damage, she will also be supporting allies. Keep in mind this is her special art, so it will take time to charge up. Let's take a look at what her regular skills will do. Her first skill will deal a high fire magic attack with Ultra On Guard. Life steals 50% of the damage done and recovers 20% MP. Her second skill effect reads, foes will take a super fire magic attack with Ultra Crit and Temp Boost. Clears strength, magic, agility, endurance, and dexterity buffs, and adds in 2 additional attacks. For foes, low fire magic attack, and allies extend buffs by 1 turn. So to summarize Vesta, she fills both roles with supporting allies while damaging enemies. Vesta releases tonight, September 8th at the time of this recording, and will stay up for about a month. Next up is going to be an announcement for an upcoming gacha. This is for Attack on Titan Brave Order. I know a few people who will be excited for this, such as our boy Trocho, along with Ignorant and other AOT fans alike. While Attack on Titan Tactics did recently shut down, many players were bummed out by this, as some did enjoy the game. Hopefully, this new Attack on Titan gacha will look at the mistakes Tactics made and attempt to avoid them. Currently, there is no release date. However, there is a Twitter page for the game along with a teaser site. There is no pre-registration just yet, as the game is fresh out of the oven, with the first tweet of the announcement being only a couple of hours ago. More news to come for this game as it is released, so stay tuned as we will cover the news here on the Gacha News segment. Lastly, we have news about MiHoYo suing Bilibili. For those who are unaware, MiHoYo is the company behind the vastly popular Genshin Impact, along with other titles. The reason MiHoYo is suing Bilibili is due to the many leaks that are put out there in the world for the community to see, and MiHoYo doesn't like that. MiHoYo demanded to know who these people are behind these leaks. However, Bilibili isn't required to release that information unless a legal process is in place. And with this lawsuit, that now requires the release of that information to MiHoYo. There are currently 11 lawsuits in place for the 11 leakers. Currently, the cases are scheduled to be heard on the 17th. That's all for this week's Gacha News. I'm your co-host Sly, signing us off here at 59 Gaming. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.